Hi guys, it is Monday, May 1st, 2023, and I'm here to do my April WIP update. Um, I've been trying for a half hour now to get this video started. I started to film it on my new computer, and I thought, you know what, let me try it on the other computer because the other computer's camera is better. And so I the other computer hadn't been used in several days, and so everything was all hung up and frozen, and the camera kept opening and closing without opening, and like it was freezing and then closing. Um, and so I ended up restarting the computer, and then I had to wait. I think it was updating or something. I don't know. It's just really slow, and it's taking forever to do anything. And I hope I don't have to restart. This is the second time I'm restarting, or I did restart because I decided that it was too dark, and I turned on another light. So hopefully I won't have to start again because the camera's not working. Anyway, so April stitching. It was okay. It wasn't bad. It could have been better. Wasn't as bad as February. Was not as good as March. Definitely not as good as January. Um, there were several days in April that I didn't stitch. I think there were about 8. Maybe there was 9 or 10. I don't know. I know of 8. So um, I was sick a couple of days, and um, I was, you know, people like Gary um, at Goron Stitchery. He stitches to relieve stress. He stitches when he's stressed. I'm the opposite. I don't stitch when I'm stressed. And I don't know why that is, but I don't. And there's kind of a situation going on that I've been kind of worried about and stressing about a little bit. And so I think that was a few of the days, that was one of the reasons why I didn't stitch. There was one day where one of my pieces was having a birthday, and I just needed to put a few stitches in it. Like, it didn't need a lot of stitches. There was no minimum, like 20 stitches would have been fine. And I just didn't have the energy. I was like, all I needed is just a few, and I didn't have the energy. I had fallen asleep, and I woke up. I'm like, I should try to put some stitches in. I couldn't do it. Uh, so, um, so I didn't quite get to the stitch count that I wanted. I wanted to get to 4,000, and I got to 3,300. So it wasn't bad, and some of the good things happened. With the stitching that I did do, I I resolved a few problem projects, and so it wasn't bad. But you know, I made some progress. It's okay. So um, I have stitching. I have plans. I have a little tiny bit of haul. I didn't really buy anything this month too much. I have one thing that I got. I have one thing that's going to be in the mail today, so you'll see that next month. Um, but I have one thing that I got for haul. I haven't been buying stuff. Um, I'm kind of still in this place where I feel overwhelmed, and I feel I really could use a finish. I feel like I have enough. I have enough projects. I don't need more projects. I don't need more staff. I don't need more stuff. I need to finish some of the stuff that I have. I need to stitch some of the stuff that I have. I don't need more stuff. So I haven't been shopping, and I haven't been starting. So I'll show you what I worked on. Um, so this is my from Dimension Gold Collection Petite. And I worked on her this month, and I put 650 stitches. Yeah, I'm glad I started over. This is much better. I turned on another light. It's a lot better. Um, so I put 650 stitches in her. A lot of it was being nagged by Vic at Stitch and Button. But she looks good. I'm a fan. I put in the a lot of that red in her obi yesterday, and it's amazing. I'm a fan. So I will work on her some more. This is the piece that I divided into 12 sections, and um, I'm behind. I'm almost done with January. This is January right here. This is February. This is March, April. May is right here. Um, and I'm almost done with January, but the other pieces I'm not, you know, I've got bits and pieces of all of them, but I haven't finished any of them. The only part I have left to do on January is there's a little bit of the background under her arm right here. So I will keep working on her. And I'm sure Vic will keep nagging me about it. I told Vic that I was going to finish it this year. And so now I need to finish it this year, because if I don't finish it this year, she's going to give me a really hard time and I'm never going to hear the end of it. So I gotta finish her before the end of the year. Okay. My next piece is what did I do with it? Oh, it's right here. Like, I know I just had this out. This next piece is Hope Song by Heartstring Samplery. This was an exclusive in the Homespun Needlework Cross Stitch and Samplers group. Um, and it's going to be released. I think that Beth is going to release it at market next year, because I asked her if she had a PDF, and she said she has not done the PDF yet, but she's going to do the PDF later this year when she gets ready to release it, which is what makes me think she's going to release it at market next year. Um, and she told me that if I still need the PDF at the end of the year, I could show her my proof of purchase and she'll send it to me. But I want to finish this before then, so I guess I won't be getting the PDF. But there's a Hope Song. I started this in January, and I put 5 stitches in it because I could not see the fabric. So my magnifier friend over here, this is my magnifier friend right here, has been amazing, and that's a big help. So I pulled this out because it sorely needed attention, and I put 650 stitches in it, and I finished the bird. I'm going to work on this today. I did the Carolina chickadee. She gives you 4 choices of birds, and I did the Carolina chickadee. And I'm going to work on this today, and I think I'm going to do the branch that the bird is on, and then I think I'm going to do some of the poinsettia. I need 300 stitches, so we'll see how far 300 stitches gets me. So there's Hope Song. I don't really have anything that's close to a finish. This is one of the struggles that I'm having. I don't really have anything that's close to a finish, and this is not close to a finish, but it's not that big. So this is kind of one of the ones that I'm targeting, because I could really use a finish. I'll show that one later. Okay. So this is, oh, this actually isn't what I thought it was. Okay. So, that's fine. So this is Savannah's Curtsy. People are like pinging me. Okay. Um, so this is Savannah's Curtsy by Mirabilia. And I did, how many stitches did I do in her this one? Savannah. I did 400 stitches on her this one. And I hope you're going to be able to see this. Um, Let me pull this up. So you kind of can't see it. There's a bunch of white in here. I did a bunch of white here, down down to here. There's a bunch of white. I did this blue. I filled in some of this. I did this. This is the bow where her, where she's grasping her dress. There's a big bow right there, which doesn't really make sense to me because if she wasn't holding her dress up, the bow would be on the floor, and that doesn't really make sense to me. And then this is you can't tell, it looks black, but it's actually a dark red. Um, but this is the stripes on the edge of her skirt, on the ruffle of her skirt. So um, I'm making progress on her. My goal for her this year is um, 5,000 stitches, and I think I'm at 750. I am at 752, so she needs some more attention. There's Savannah's curtsy, and I've been going back and forth because I usually do my stitching in increments of 100 because of harvest stitchers. So I'll do 100 in white, and then 100 in a color, and then 100 in white, and then 100 in a color. Because if I save all the white till the end, it's going to be a disaster. So I'm going to pop up on my screen. There we go. Okay. Um, so she is in categories for May. So I'll probably pull her out in May and try to make some more progress towards that 5,000 stitches. Okay. This piece This piece got a little bit of attention, but it didn't get the amount of attention that it usually does. This is my dogs, retrievers by Sporting Masters in Janlin, kitted by Janlin. And I've been, there's been a lot of months where I've put 1,000 stitches into this piece, or 600 or 800, that I've been doing a lot of stitching on this piece. This month, it only got 300 stitches. I kind of had intended to get back to it, and I never did. I had hoped to get back to it, I never did. But I'm going to get to it this month. Oh, well, let me just show you the whole thing, and then I'll show you what I stitched on. So, there he is. There's my black lab. He's pretty. But what I stitched on was just still working on the grass. I brought this uh, leaf of grass all the way up, and I filled in some of this other grass down here. I think I'm just about done with the grass. I think there's some miscellaneous odds and ends to fill in, but I think I'm just about done with the grass, and I'm ready to start the dog that goes right here. So hopefully this month it'll get some good stitches in it, and I'll be able to start the dog. I think it's 314 stitches. Retrievers. I did 314 stitches in the month of April, and my goal for this is also 5,000 stitches, and I'm at 3,051. So it's significantly ahead of Savannah. It's gotten a lot of attention. So there he is. So this is also going to be in categories this month, so it will get some more attention. Oh, whoops. I guess I should have put that in there. All right. Let's look at this one. So is this was a start in February. I started this with Vic. It's Stitch Button. And this is Bells of Ireland by Laura Corbett. And I did, how many stitches? I didn't do a lot of stitching on her, actually. I did 155 stitches on her. uh, because I have a goal of getting all my stitches to 500, all of my pieces to 500. Putting 500 stitches on all of my pieces. Let me make this make sense. So she was at 350, and so I did 150 to bring her up to 500. And so this is where she is. She's got her chest. I made it she's got some more skin, but the top of her dress is right here. The next row down here is where the top of her dress is. So um, there she is. This fabric is um, Easter Parade, and I think it's by Live and Die LA. It's a very light green with a little bit of pink in it. There's Miss Bells of Ireland. She's gonna go on the back burner for a little bit. We'll talk about that in plans. Alright, my last two projects. These are my two projects that I resolved problems with. And so I was very excited because I have these projects that I've been avoiding for various reasons, and now two of them I can stop avoiding and I can just work on them. The first one is this one. This is a restart, and I've been talking about this for a while that I was going to restart this. And it worked for categories this month, so I did the restart on it. And this is Poppy by Nora Corbett. And the reason that I restarted it is I didn't like the fabric I had started it on. I didn't like the color. I wanted it on a different fabric. So, and the fabric that I chose is not very exciting. It's a neutral. It's just barely not white. It's like an off-white, but I'm a lot happier with it than I was with the other one. So this is where I got to. I did 500 stitches on her. And this is Poppy. So there she is. I think this is a Fortnite fabric. This is Fortnite Milton, maybe, or yeah, I think it might be Milton. So there she is. We'll talk about her again in plans. I don't think she's going to make it into. I don't think she's in categories, but we will talk about her in plans. Okay, now this piece, this has been neglected. And I've talked about this on here. I know I have. Many times. And um, I got it resolved. The magnifier friend helps. This is Mine is the Trick and the Treat by Prairie Moon. And I started this in 2011, and it had been sitting there for a long time. I don't remember, maybe I don't think I had tried to stitch on it. At the end of 2020, when we were starting No New Starts, I pulled it out, and I made sure it had 200 stitches in it. And then at the beginning of 2021, I tried to stitch on it. I know I put 114 stitches into it. And then I put it down because it was just such a struggle. It's 32 count. It's a dark color. It's pictureless plus. And when they dye their fabric, it shrinks and the weave gets really tight and you can't see the holes. And it was just such a struggle that I put it down and I didn't pick it up again because I'm like, I can't see it. And I was kind of considering starting it over, and I hadn't done that yet. But then the magnifier friend came along, and I thought, you know what? The magnifier friend might be the answer to my problem with this piece. So I pulled it out and I put it under the magnifier. And what do you know? I can see it. So here is Linus the Trick and the Treat. Let me easier to manage that way. This piece got 600 stitches this month. Look at that. All of this stuff right here, this character here, the second half of this border, the L and the O and the star and the octagon down there. I did all of that. I did 600 stitches on it. So it got a nice little chunk. And it has come out of the timeout file. So I will put it into my rotation and stop ignoring it. And honestly, if I gave it some good time this year, I could probably finish it, maybe. I don't know that it's gonna get it, but if I gave it some good time, if I concentrated on it, I might be able to finish it. I don't know that that's gonna happen, but it's nice to have it active again, and I know that I can stitch on it and I can make progress on it, and it's all good. So that's what I stitched on. Yeah. So plans, we have those. Um, Categories, because we always have categories. May categories. The first category is flora and fauna, which is plants and animals. I'm going to use Hope Song because it has flowers and it has a bird. The small, my only small is French Kitchen. I don't really want to use that. So I'm probably going to use my alternate, which is the dogs. There's a possibility that I'm going to make a new start. I might do that today, actually. I don't know. No, probably not today. But there's a possibility I'm going to make a new start of a mill hill kit. If I can pull it out, I'll show it to you. I thought it was right here. Anyway, I might make a new start of a mill hill kit because I need it for a prompt. And so maybe I'll use that. Has Beach of Specialty Stitches. I'm probably going to use Savannah. I might use Poppy, probably Savannah, because Savannah needs stitches. Struggle Bus. So the last two categories are Struggle Bus and Stitcher's Choice. And one of them, and it kind of doesn't matter when I put where, one of them is going to be the Three Things Sampler, which I didn't show, but I did 22 stitches in it yesterday or the other night for its birthday. There wasn't enough to warrant showing it, but I'm going to work on it this month for categories and for road trip. And I'm going to try to do at least 500 stitches in it this month. It needs the attention. The poor thing is so neglected. But that's going to go in one of the categories, and the other one will probably be Under the Evergreen because also neglected. And at the beginning of the year when I did my plans video in December, I said this is my top stitching priority this year. I've put 400 stitches in it so far this year, and it's not going to get finished that way. So I need to work on Under the Evergreen. So those will go in those two slots in some order, and it kind of doesn't matter which order they go in. They're both a struggle for different reasons, and the other one is Stitcher's Choice, which anything can go in there. So that's probably what I'm going to do for that. Still doing road trip. I've made it to the last shop before the campground. I don't know. I feel like I'm behind. I don't know that Carla would consider me behind. But I feel like I'm behind, and I'm feeling a little bit daunted because the campground is 15 or 1600 stitches. And have we met? Um, they're getting ready to release leg 7, and once they release leg 7, at some point they're going to say you need to finish leg 6 by X date. Um, and I think that date's going to be in June. It's not going to be tomorrow, but I feel like I'm behind, and I feel like I need to hurry up and move along. Um, there's some discounts in the couple of shops that are after the campground that will help me along if I can meet the criteria for the discount, which maybe I can. Um, and I need to send an email today. I had ordered a couple of Mill Hill kits because I knew that these shops were coming up. And so I ordered a couple of Mill Hill kits because one of them will meet like all of them. And I haven't gotten them yet. And I kind of suspect that the shop that I ordered them from doesn't have them and had to order them. And this isn't really working out the way that I hoped it would. So I have some alternates. I think I'm going to be able to make it work. But it would have been nice if I could get that Mill Hill kit on time. Anyway, so I'm still working on that. Still doing the daily 30 acrostic. Um, still doing harvest stitchers. We did a winter festival this past week. It just ended last night, and I did better on the winter festival. We did an event at the end of fall, which was a county fair, and I wasn't really a lot of help on that one, and so I think I did a little better on this one. I wasn't the star of the team, but I did better on this one than I did on the county fair. So, um, so I was talking to Zoom. I was talking to Vic, really, um, about I don't know what we were talking about, but she had asked me if I was monogamous uh, before I became not monogamous, and I was not. And I think I've talked about this on here too. I was not really monogamous, but I used to stitch like on 3 things at a time. I would have 2 at home and 1 at work, and I would alternate between the 2 at home, and sometimes I would switch the one at work out, and I would just kind of rotate them around it however I felt like. Sometimes I would add a 4th one, or I would switch one out, but I didn't really start stitching on so many things until I started joining challenge groups when I joined Daily 30, and of course, Daily 30, which is a closed group, you can't get in, but uh, is a prompt based group where it's like stitch on something that has a tree or stitch on something, you know, whatever. Um, so I started working on more stuff just because you need those things to meet those prompts. And but I'm kind of feeling like I was saying before, I could use a finish. I have so many projects, and I'm trying to get 500 stitches and everything. And if I keep pulling projects out to put 500 stitches in, I'm not making progress over here on these projects. And I need a finish, and I can't make progress if I keep pulling out new projects. I hope that made sense. So I feel the need to kind of focus on a few projects, and because of categories and some other things that I'm doing, I can't really go back to 3, but I decided that I made a list of 9, which I might cut back to 6 or 7. I might still cut a few pieces off of that. Um, Projects that I want to focus on, these are going to be my priority. And if I can fill the categories from these pieces, I'm going to do that first. I'm going to choose from these first for categories. And then I have another 5 pieces that if I can't get categories out of these pieces, then I'll pick them from these pieces. And the 500 stitches goal, I'm going to kind of put that aside for a while because I want to focus on the stuff that I have. And I don't want to just keep pulling random projects out to put 500 stitches in them. That's frustrating me, and I can't keep doing that if I want to finish this other stuff. So I can't get back down to 3, but I'm going to try to limit it, you know, limit it to, a handful of projects. And um, Poppy is on the list, but Bells of Ireland is not. Bells of Ireland is like on the second tier list that if I can't meet the categories, um, I'll choose these. Poppy is on the priority list because she's on my WIP board to finish her, and Bells of Ireland is not. So I think Bells of Ireland is on the WIP board to get 1,000 stitches, and she'll get there. But um, and uh, so I'll tell you what the projects are because you probably see a lot of them. The priority projects are the dogs, of course, because I have a big goal and it's my alternate for categories. Because she's the one that I've divided into 12, and if I don't finish her this year, I'm never getting her the end of it from Vic. Poppy, because I want to try to finish her. Tetelestai, because that's also small, and that's something that I could finish. It's only like 5,300 stitches or something. Hope Song, because it's small and I can finish it. And it's also on my WIP board because it's one of the exclusives, and one of my goals is to finish one of the exclusives. Because I keep buying them, and I'm like, if I keep buying them, then I should at least be stitching them. Under the Evergreen, which will probably not get finished at this point, but I'm going to work on it. Savannah, because I also have a big goal. And Three Things, because I also have a big goal, which is only a page finish, but it's still a lot of stitching. And that poor thing is so neglected. So those are the ones I'm going to try to fill my categories from those first. And then the second tier is Linus the Trick and the Treat, Bells of Ireland, Manuscript, Greta, and my Chatelaine. So, and the rest of it's all going to kind of get put to the side. I'm not going to keep pulling out random pieces. I do have a couple of more pieces that I would like to pull out, but um, I'm going to try to get a couple of finishes first. I'm going to try to finish Hope Song and finish Tetelestai. So I'm just going to focus for a little while and not, yeah. So was that clear as mud? Have I rambled enough? Um, yeah. So, yeah. Um, I think that's it for plans. I want to see if I can find this other one that I wanted to show you, but I might start because I don't know what's going on with this mill hill that I wanted for, here it is. So, there's a bunch of stuff about to drop off the table over here. One of the discounts in Road Trip is stitch on something with a food item. And I have several things that I could choose from, and I'll probably, it's for the campground, the 1,500 stitches for the campground. Stitch on something with a food item, and well, that's not true. I have several things with a food item. I discussed this on Zoom last night, and they pointed out to me, oh, you have this and this and this. And some of those are things that I don't really want to stitch on. Three Things is one of them because there's a bowl of berries at the top. I have a couple other that I could probably get some of the stitches from. But then I also have this, and I think I might start this because it's small and it's a mill hill, and it'll make up. I could probably do the whole 1,500 stitches on this, honestly. And it'll give me a finish, and it's just like a win all around. So I do want to put some stitches on Three Things Sampler, but I think I might also do this. So there's my mill hill taco. Yeah, I think that's it for plans. And the other plan is try to get to at least 4,000 stitches. Let's see if we can do better in May. I still really want to get to 5,000, but since I'm not getting to 4,000, let's aim to 4,000 first. All right, haul. And this is probably going to be the last thing. I don't think I have anything else after this. So, speaking of exclusives from the Homespun Needlework group, they put one out the second week of April, and it's by Will Styrus Naps, um, who's fairly new. I've heard of them, I've seen mention of them in the sampler groups and maybe a little bit on FossTube. They're pretty new. Um, and so they did the exclusive, and um, so I bought it. It was only available for like 2 weeks. It was a very short window. Um, but I got it the first day that it was released. They have several fabric choices, and they have several uh, thread choices because they have DMC, they have Weeks Dye Works, they have silk, Vera Swath silk, um, and so you can match up, which thread you want, with which fabric you want, and that would determine the price point. So there were some that were under $100, like the 16 count DMC was under $100, and some of the silk ones were over 200. And so I was kind of trying to match up. Okay, well, this fabric is okay at this. I was trying to match up which combination I wanted and which price point I was willing to go for. So I finally picked one, and so here's my exclusive. Um, this is Mary Gibson, 1828 by Will Cyrus Snaps. And it says, "Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life." And it says that she was aged 11 years old in 1828. So there's the sampler. It is 291 by 316, so she's a big girl. And it came very nicely packaged. Some of these some of these exclusives are beautiful, and some of them are less beautiful. Um, but this one came very nicely packaged. You got this little pouch, and all of the threads are nicely, stored in there. And I chose the Weeks Dye Works option. And then, um, this is the fabric. They got the fabric package. I haven't opened it yet, but it's 36 count Thornfield linen by Needle and Flax. And this, I chose the option that the model was stitched on. Actually, it's 36 count with Weeks Dye Works. So the fabric comes in here, and I actually don't know what the fabric looks like because I haven't opened it yet. But there it is. And then they also sent a thread key. This is by Minnie McBean's Needlework Fripperies on Etsy, Instagram, and Facebook. But it's a little thread key with a heart and a little charm, a little picture of the house. So it was a very nice kit. So I don't know when I'm going to start that. This is on my list of exclusives that I bought, and I'm trying to make an effort to stitch some of them. I think this is number 9 that I bought, maybe 8 or 9 I bought, and I've finished one. I finished Tomato, and I'm working on Hope Song. So I'm making my way through them. So that was the only thing that I bought this month. Um, and that's about all I have. Work is the same, still half in the office, half at home. Yeah, I don't really have anything else. So, and my video seems to have held out. So I guess that's good. I don't have to redo it. So I will see you guys next month, and happy stitching.